My name is Rahul and I love the mountains. I also happen to love every single thing that comes along with it. Hi guys and welcome back to episode number 2 of my Kedarthal Trek series. This episode is going to be about my acclimatization day at Gangotri, my trek from Gangotri to Bhoj Kharak, which is base camp 1, my trek from Bhoj Kharak to Kedar Kharak,
4,100 meters right now.
Wow! In case you haven't watched episode number 1, I am going to drop the link to it in the description below. But this day starts as early as 5 am in the morning, not out of choice, but because Gangotri is one of the Char Dham spots in our country. There are a lot of people, and trust me, no matter what kind of a heavy sleeper you are, you cannot sleep through that commotion. I am not a big fan of the acclimatization day because it gets very boring, but it is also very essential that your body gets adjusted to the altitude. Now this day is actually pretty simple. You wake up in the morning, there is blood pressure and oxygen meter readings. Now this is important because the trek leader needs to know how well is your body coping up to the altitude. That is followed by some breakfast. In my case there was bhindi and roti. शशांक सुबह को ब्रेकफास्ट में क्या था?
कचरा.
अरे कचरा नहीं, भिंडी थी, भिंडी. And trust me, I have never had bhindi for breakfast in my life. I don't even think I have it for lunch. I do not like it. That is followed by a small trek because again it's acclimatization day. You have got nothing to do, so might as well just go for a small trek nearby. That is then followed by lunch, which is then again followed by an evening walk, which is then followed by dinner, and you're off to sleep. Now the next day after acclimatization day is something that people love and people hate. Rather, speaking for myself, I loved it and I hated it. So we've completed about 1.5 kilometers in ascent. Doesn't seem to get any easier. Because that is when it really hits you. You are not as fit as you think. And this is one place I really messed up. Now because I wanted to shoot and I wanted to carry my own stuff, when I say this, I mean that there is an avenue where you get to offload your luggage. I will sincerely recommend it in case this is your first or your second trek. So about 2.5 hours in the trek. My back is gone, my legs are gone. I had one rucksack. I had one camera bag. I did not anticipate the amount of toll that is going to take on me physically, and I realized that the next day morning.
I had 2 backpacks, so one rucksack and one backpack in the front. Because of that, my back is like really paining.
And there is a confession here. I had really stopped shooting because I was in so much pain.
Unfortunately, I couldn't record anything because of all the weight that I had on me.
And I was out of breath for the longest time that I have ever been. Gangotri to base camp 1 was about a 3-hour journey, and I was so glad after I reached the base camp because that heavy bag was off my back and I had something good to focus on. That something good was mountains all around me. So once I reached base camp 1, I learned how to pitch a tent, and this was not something that I had done before. So I was pretty excited about it because it was one of the skills that I really wanted to have. The good thing about day 2, that is my journey from Bhoj Kharak to Kedar Kharak, was that now I was mentally prepared to handle the ascent, the load, and the uphill strain that is going to be coming my way when I start the trek. The scenery was unlike anything I have seen, and I think this is going to be the case with almost all the treks that you do in our country. The terrain changes, you will not notice it, or you will notice it after it has completely changed, and you will just be like, wow. 1.5 hours into the journey, we've reached beautiful valleys and streams of water that we've crossed. Trust me, it just gets better. You really have to go on a trek to see this for yourself. Alright, so behind me is one of the most treacherous passes that we've encountered on this trek. It really feels like I'm on a trek right now. I'm just going to take you through it. Now the deal is that sand is very fine. So people are literally sliding down, and the trekking pole, instead of helping you, becomes an issue for you. Once you're there, this part of the path is fairly easy. That's our trek, that's one of the trek guides, and that's the technical trek guide. Now where he's standing, there is a small gap over there. You're gonna see the porter now. I think his weight's too heavy. Alright, you're gonna see his jump. It's all fun. It's all nice and fun because that's how a trek should be. Some of them have already come here. Some of them are still coming, and I have actually recorded all of it on a GoPro, so I hope that footage just comes out to be like really good. I don't know if the camera can focus because of the snow, but everyone over there, they're trekking on a glacier. It's snow. It's slippery. It's the first time I've experienced something like this. This is beautiful. I think today's day is going to be the best of all my trek days, assuming that the trek to the lake itself beats this view, beats this experience. It obviously beat my summit trek, but that is for episode number 3. But for now, we had to continue our journey and we took a small break. And at this point of time, I realized that the porters who were coming with us had a huge load of bag, which was approximately about 50 kgs. Now these porters are the whole and soul of our trek, and it's solely because of these guys that we are able to trek to such heights, stay in tents, eat delicious food. I also decided to pick up that weight for myself and see how it feels. It was definitely heavier than I anticipated it to be, but the good thing was we were about 20 minutes away from the campsite. It's 4,104 meters. Above sea level. There was a very small river crossing that we had to take care of. And we were at the base camp. This is my 3rd trek, and I have never ever camped at such a beautiful place, which is just around the mountains, and not just any mountains. All the mountains around me has snow on them, and I'm telling you, I think it's a blessing to be able to see snow in the month of May. We're gonna get some nice warm lunch and might go for an acclimatization walk in the evening, which is preceded by a lot of rest, because I'm sure all of us are very, very, very exhausted. Well, very nice lunch. It's 4 o'clock now, 4:10. We have set up our tents. So when I wake up, I'm going to be looking at this, while the others are going to be looking at that. This is the campsite. This is the kitchen tent. That's hot mountains, mud and snow, as how it is meant to be. And guys, with that we come to the end of another beautiful episode, which is episode number 2. And if you guys haven't liked, subscribed, please do so, share this video, and I am going to see you guys for episode number 3, which is the Kedartal Lake, and you have to see how beautiful it is.